So I just watched the Madam Web trailer, and I'm gonna give you a few of my thoughts on it. Um, I'm not gonna watch it while we do this video. I'm gonna let you guys watch it on your own if you haven't seen it. This is for people that have already watched the trailer, came out earlier today, and want to know like my reaction and have conversations about it in the comments below. My initial reaction was in the beginning, the first 20, 30 seconds of it, I was like, oh, this could be interesting. This could be really good because it starts off as she's having like these, I guess, like flash forwards or whatever, kind of like Nicolas Cage's Next, where she can kind of see like the future. I don't know if it's like, I think well, I forget what Nicolas Cage movie is called. 60 Seconds? No, that was something else. Anyways, Next, I think it was maybe called. Anyways, he saw like a few minutes in the future, and then later it turns out, big twist, he saw a whole day in the future. So I don't know what this is kind of like, but in the beginning it starts off as like kind of like a suspense horror, like there's this mass murderer, serial killer, or some big bad guy after her, and she can kind of see the future, and she's kind of trying to stop him but keeps dying, so has to start over again. And I found that kind of interesting as like a smaller movie, and then all of a sudden bring out the B Squad, that looks like a CW show, the Spider Women gang. I don't know, Spider Women from different multiverses. I'm like, ugh. And I'm like, the costumes look bad. It looks cheesy. It was so annoying. I hate it when shows do this. It just seems like very dated and like, I hate when shows do this. It's like they'll have a string of characters, right? 4, 5, whatever, 3, and they have to like make them like Power Rangers, where it's like each one, when they're not in their costume, has to have their own identity and like their own unique think about it. It's like, oh, I'm the skateboarding girl. Oh, I'm the hip hop girl. Like, and they have to dress in like, I haven't seen Power Rangers in a long time, but when the Power Rangers aren't in their super suits, they the Yellow Rangers always dressed in yellow, and then the pink ones always dressed in pink, and it's like that's for kids, okay? But this is probably going to be PG-13. I think it is, and so it just looks, it's so cheesy. It's just so cheesy. I don't. And it's like, why does each one have to have like their special, unique thing? Why can't they just be 4 normal girls, 4 normal friends? Like, why does one have to do skateboard? I'm like, you don't even look like you skateboard. Like, come on, stupid. And then the costumes come out, and they just look horrible, just utterly horrible. They look so cheesy. So I'll show you. This is where they're all hanging out. Let's see. Okay, so this is, where's the bad guy? Where's the bad Spider-Man? There's the bad Spider-Man. He's jumping around. Where they show a full, oh God. Here's one of the Spider-Woman's mask. It just looks so terrible. Okay, he hits a rocket. Okay, there they are. The like little girl pal thing. There. Oh, this like the Spider-Woman was like weird, but this one just reeks CW. Whoever this person is, it just looks terrible. There's the bad guy. The bad guy's like super small, but they want to make him menacing. So there's a good shot of him where he's just standing in his suit, and it looks so bad. It just, because you know what they did back right there. Oh, missed it. There. Okay. That suit. It just looks literally like the CW. It looks cheesy and bad because they're like, oh, the actors don't want to work out, or we don't have time for the actors to get big and buff, or whatever the reason is. So they make like rubberized muscles and all that kind of stuff. And I know they do that in now ones like the MCU and stuff like that. But this just looks extra bad. It just looks really cheesy, and it just looks like this movie should have came out like 20 years ago. It would have been cool. This movie could have been cool if you just stuck with the girl, Madam Web. I know she's a young lady, not an old woman like in the comics. But if you was stuck with her, all she had to do was do this like suspense horror type thriller movie, and you have a budget of $25 million, and I think it would have worked. It would have worked. It wouldn't have been small. Like, not everything has to be gigantic. And if they put a beam in the sky that shoots up like they do in every single superhero movie, because no one is creative anymore. Literally, they did that in the Marvels. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. That is the most overplayed thing, like zero creativity for a director or whoever's in charge of that. A beam in the sky, I gotta save everyone. Oh, I cannot stand that. This means you have literally zero creativity. Now they have to make a higher budget so they can have all these superheroes and do their superpowers, but it still looks like CW stuff. And if they spent over $50 million on this movie, they're going to lose money. They're going to lose money. And it's terrible. These budgets are out of control. I don't even know what the budget is. But when you're spending like $300 million on the Marvels film, it's like, I get it. The last one made like $1 billion, so it's fine. But you should spend your money based on how popular the character is. This Madam Web is not, in terms of comic books, is not a popular character. I'm sorry, she is not. She is like D-list tier at best. She is not. Same with Agatha. Why in the world would you pick out some random thing? And you can make it good, because here's the thing. Peacemaker was a nobody character, and I watched that TV show by James Gunn, and it was fantastic. It was beyond way better than I thought. A fantastic show. So you can. But Peacemaker doesn't really have superpowers, so you don't need a huge budget for it. You know, it's more of like, I mean, he has this little helmet in his, but he doesn't have like superpowers of shooting things, jumping around, things like that. If they spent $50 million in this movie, I think it'll be okay. It'll probably make like 100 to 150 maybe if it's good in the box office, which is enough to make a profit. But if they spent like $75 million or $100 million or more, you need to fire those executives and producers and everyone on board. It's like, what are you thinking? Why would, like, Morbius, I don't even think Morbius made more than like 200 million or something like that. And Morbius is vastly more popular than most of these characters. You can make the argument that Spider-Woman maybe is, I still think Morbius is more popular than Spider-Woman. But that's the only one you can make. But it's not even Spider-Woman's movie. So it definitely gives me vibes of the CW. It's going to be cheesy. And I know some people like hate it when I talk about like comic book movies and whatever. Some people hate it, but I'm like, hey, I release comic book videos all the time. Like, so I want to rant. I like ranting because you know what I do? But when you guys aren't around, I'm ranting to someone else in real life, in person. And this is why I just ranted about not too long ago. So that's what I'm going to do with you guys. So I consider you guys all my friends as well. So if you were in front of me, I would be saying this exact same thing. Except, you know, it'd be a little different because you'd be talking back to me and I'm just not talking to a blinking light in front of my camera. And my dog's sleeping over there because she doesn't care. But nonetheless, I don't think this... They need to... If they spent like $25 million, fantastic. Right? Because it looks like it has a budget of like $25 million, maybe $50 million at the most. Somewhere around there, fantastic. I think you can make some money. And if you make a good movie, that's even better. Maybe you get a sequel. But this movie so far looks terrible. And I don't want superhero movies to do bad. I want them to be good. But when you hire terrible directors, terrible writers, all these terrible people, and they could be good, but they don't understand the character. And I don't understand why you... The person that's writing the new Supergirl movie, zero experience. Zero. No TV or movie credits to their name. None. Why? Why are you hiring these people? Why? This is all you have to do. Hire a comic writer who's worked on the character in some capacity and has written good storylines, right? And you know which ones those are. Those always, you can just look at the sales of a comic book and see which ones people are attached to themselves. Find that person. They understand the character. Then find a seasoned writer that writes movies and scripts and screenplays for a blockbuster, thriller, whatever type of movie you're trying to make. All right? Then pair them up and go, look, comic book writer, you are going to write the story. Seasoned veteran script writer, you are going to try to take that story, work with this comic writer, and combine it so it makes sense in the form of a movie. Because writing for a comic strip is a lot different than writing a movie strip. And that's all you do. And then they work together. The comic writer's like, look, I understand the character. I know all that stuff. I know what people like. I've already had a couple hits on my hand in the comic realm. Then I write this stuff. And then you port that over into a movie script that makes sense for movies, right? Because they have to be a certain amount of length. And it's, it's very different from movies to comic books. That's all you have to do. Then you take that script and you hand it to a director that has experience making these types of films. And then that director then takes it and they find good actors that fit the roles, not fit what they want them to be, but fit the roles. Then you put them together. I don't even know why this is so hard. Maybe like I should be a consultant because they just don't get it. And then you make the movie. Then what you do when it comes to budget, you don't go like superhero movie, $300 million. Why? Because it's going to make $1 billion. Because people are dumb. And they just be like, okay, how popular are these characters? Okay, Madam Web, like D-list character. Okay. So let's somewhere around 25 to 50 million, depending on how you want your movie to go, if it needs more. But beyond 50 million, I mean, they made the Joker for $50 million, and he is an A-list, a tippity top. He's literally the tippity top of all villains and comic book characters. I mean, I have him tattooed on my arm. Like, you can't really get much higher than the Joker. Like, you could argue Spider-Man and Superman and stuff like that, but the Joker is vastly, very, very popular. I think he's the only character to win 2 Oscars for people that play him. So they made that for $50 million, and it went on to make $1 billion. See? Because there's a lot of people that love the Joker, and if you do it right, people will say, it's a great movie, let's go watch it. No one knows who Madam Web is. Most comic fans don't even know who Madam Web is. Like, you literally have to actually be a huge, huge comic fan where you know a lot about comics to know who Madam Web is. So it's like 25, 50 million. That's all you should do. So if they came out with that, I guarantee you they didn't. I guarantee you they didn't. I guarantee you it's much higher. And whatever. That's my ranting on this movie. Who knows? I mean, I may or may not see it. I don't know. It comes out in February, so usually they dump movies around like January, February anyways. It comes out on Valentine's Day. Like, I'm assuming this is like they're thinking like, hey, it has the girl from 50 Shades of Grey, so maybe your girlfriend or wife will want to see it because of her, and then the guy will want to see it because it's a superhero movie. I mean, I guarantee you that is their train of thought. Because the girls from 50 Shades of Grey. Don't ask me how I know that. I think my wife watched that movie or something. I have no idea. No, that's right. It's from Jeremy Jahns. He gave it the lowest score like he's ever given a movie, at least ones I've seen. He's a movie reviewer on YouTube. And so I like, it's fun watching when people like dump on other movies, I guess. And he gave it a super low score. And so that's how I know. Have a great day.